From the staff of Fitchburg Access Television, welcome to another episode of North Central Journal, featuring the cities and towns, the people, and the events here in North Central Massachusetts. Hello and welcome again to North Central Journal. I'm Scott May, and happy 2024. And we thought a great way to kick off the new year would be with the new mayor of the city of Fitchburg. And here she is right here. Sam Squailia has joined us. Congratulations, Mayor Squailia.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me.
And this being the month of January, you're officially in office.
Yes, the 46th mayor of the city of Fitchburg's 152-year history.
And is it the third
female mayor?
Congratulations. And my first question is, why this year? Why did you decide that 2023 was the year to run for mayor for 2024?
Well, Scott, through my 6 years as a city councilor, I've seen a lot of the great opportunity and investments and, happenings that's been going on in the city of Fitchburg. I've seen some things that I would like to see changed, really. I saw just the opportunity that Fitchburg had that I'd like to see just more capitalization on that opportunity with, some just increased, transparency, collaboration, and accessibility with, the residents and the businesses in the city of Fitchburg, and then with the city government, not just having that feedback loop and that opportunity for increased, inspiration, collaboration, and motivation to really capitalize on the assets that we have seen invested upon, and then just really kind of push us forward into the future with just more energy and opportunity. So, I saw that, that's what really Fitchburg is in needing of, more of a spark, and so that's where we are today. Is we're sparking.
Now, out of the gate, what are your immediate challenges?
Immediate challenges out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
There are some lingering projects that we will need to address and wrap up, and some efficiencies to adjust overall. A lot of small boring things, but one of the top priorities of the residents of Fitchburg is, fixing the roads.
Yes.
Right. So that's we've
for years.
Yeah, for many years.
Yeah.
So we've already through the course of the transition in just December, we've had many meetings with our DPW staff, engineering, streets and highway, to talk about the plan, the paving plan, available funds, what efficiencies that we can tackle, and what kind of strategies that we can have moving forward. Because one of the big pushes that Fitchburg hasn't really capitalized on is utilizing a pavement management strategy, right? So we get a set amount of money from the roads that is ever becoming less and less effective, and the city of Fitchburg ourselves, we have financial, we don't have a lot of money to contribute to road paving projects. So what we need to do is take the money that we do get and use it efficiently and strategically, so that we get the best value out of the road spending and pavement preservation projects over 5 year, 10 year, 15, 20-year spans. When you increase those outlooks, then we can kind of map out what our asset, instead of the declining deficit, that we see at such a stark curve, maybe we can start to level that out, and maybe somewhere in the future, maybe it's going up.
Well, one of the things, and that's one of the topics I wanted to touch on, and so here we go. Chapter 90 funding, that's state funding. That's money that comes to cities and towns from the Commonwealth, and it's earmarked for improvements, road and repairs and improvements. Right. And that amount of money has remained pretty much level for a decade.
It has, right? And Chapter 90 funding is, the kind of the money that the cities and 351 cities and towns get for road and infrastructure repair, right? So the city, so it's based, there's a calculation that determines, how much money municipalities get, and according to that calculation, based on public road miles and other factors, Fitchburg gets approximately $1.2 million a year. So, that amount of funding that we get is the largest chunk that we use. Our previous DPW commissioner, a few DPW commissioners ago, had calculated out that we need to spend approximately $5 million just to maintain the road infrastructure that we have as it is. And really what he suggested would it be better if we spent $8 million a year to not only maintain the roads that we have and then to get us out of that road paving deficit. So you can see the difference between 1.2 million and 5 million is enormous, and then 8 million is even more. So taking the money that we have the 1.2, we can supplement that with some of our additional revenue sources, the cannabis revenue sources, other free cash sources, but dedicated funds potential. But you can see that that's a huge gap to make up. So really, the kind of the strategy that I have been promoting and that we'll be looking forward to in the future is using those limited funds that we do get more efficiently to preserve the life of the investments we do make in our road infrastructure for a longer period of time. You could spend like $1 million, let's just say $1 million to pave one road. And after 10 years, if we do nothing to that road, that that pavement lifespan curve goes like, right? Whereas if you spent $1 million over 10 years and then maybe at year 6, we're spending 50,000. Maybe that life, instead of going like this, maybe that lifespan goes, ooh, and then we, another 10 grand or whatever it is, small amounts of dollars to extend the lifespan of that road out for a longer period of time with less dollars. And, doing that over a course of a 20-year span, we're getting somewhere.
Important for people to understand, though, that 1.2 million from the Commonwealth was 1.2 million 10 years ago. It's 10 years later. It's still the same amount of money, but everything is costing more, so 1.2 million is actually quite a bit less than it was 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 10 years ago, think about what you paid for, for a lot of different items at let's just call the grocery store.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So the inflation works the same way when it comes to, maybe even more drastic when it comes to construction projects. At cost of asphalt, cost of labor, cost of everything. So that 1.2 million we got for the roads 10 years ago paves 40% less road than it does today than it did 10 years ago. So, the effective value of the money that we're getting from Chapter 90 has not met up with inflation. And that's a state level, allocation, so the Mass Municipal Association is the kind of the arm of cities and towns for our advocate. Right. And, they have been advocating to the state for 10 plus years to increase Chapter 90 funding. And, so, we're looking at that. We cross our fingers every year with the state legislature.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about was the challenges for the city and the growing migrant population. How is that being managed? How is it coming together, and what are your concerns about that?
So when you talk about the growing migrant population in Massachusetts, you really have to also talk about with the housing crisis that we currently have. Mm-hmm. We have in the city of Fitchburg, we have a number of families that are being forced out of their homes due to rising costs. I've had people. I have a lot of people that contact me with issues, and a lot of them I can address. Some of them, but the one of them that is extremely hard to address is, I'm getting my apartment is getting renovated, and my cost is going from $1,000 a month to $2,000 a month, and I can't afford to live here anymore. Yeah. What am I going to do? My family's here. I can't. There's nowhere where I can go, and it's the housing crisis is happening all across the state of Massachusetts, but in Fitchburg, our housing production numbers lag compared to some of the other areas of the state as well. So our housing costs are, our rental units, our housing costs are high, and so people are having to relocate away from their families, or we are having an unprecedented, situation where people have no homes; they're living out of their cars. We have approximately 174 homeless families in the Fitchburg public school system. So we have our, we have that Lunenburg Street shelter, which was previously our father's house, now Opportunities for Hope. So we have that opportunity to provide shelter to some families, and the primary focus is on Fitchburg families because we have such a large need for our own community here. That is coming. That has been coming online, the Lunenburg Street shelter, and but when it comes to any migrant families that do come into our community through whether it's family or whatever shelter, we have a public school system and a community here in Fitchburg that has always been a very diverse community and welcoming to really many different populations of people. So, anyone that does find themselves in Fitchburg is a part of the community of Fitchburg.
Now, as mayor, you also become the chairperson of the Fitchburg School Committee, and I want to talk to you about the public school system in Fitchburg, get your thoughts on that and where you would like to see some improvements and some growth.
Yeah, the Fitchburg public school system actually has an incredible amount of opportunity and potential for all the students here, right? We have funding challenges. With enough money and time, you can fix anything, right, Scott? We have school building infrastructure funding needs. We have staffing. We are hiring. The Fitchburg Public Schools, we are hiring. We're a great place to work. We have a lot of needs that we need to supplement. To make sure that our teachers have everything they need when it comes to not only the school building infrastructure, school safety, but staffing to make sure that we have the appropriate staff to handle all of the diversity of our children's needs. Because we, as the public school system, we accept all children regardless of any need, and we educate them, with every opportunity for every student, that's available to everyone. It's available to every student. So, it makes some things become, these opportunities for, educating students become, it's a constantly changing environment. And so I'm very proud to be serving as the chair of the Fitchburg School Committee. And my own daughter goes here. I've been, I grew up in the Fitchburg public school system. So we have everything we need here. We just need a little more growth and investment, really. So that's going to be a focus.
Speaking of growth and investment, what's ahead for the city in 2024 in terms of business growth? What can you tell folks watching this that they can look forward to?
So, we have thanks to ARPA funds for construction and design, the downtown, we have a water infrastructure that has been designed and will be paid through construction through a majority of ARPA funds. So Main Street and Boulder Drive will be reconstructed at some point in the near future, 2024, 2025. And so we have, the business investment is prime in the downtown. It's where you get your most value per your square footage, right? But then we also have some developers that are interested in opportunities in our old mill buildings, and when you pair that with bringing in more people, bringing in that opportunity from connecting to our train lines and our airport growth, and kind of everything's got to tie together, right? We have the people that come here with new business opportunity, with apartments and development and economic development. They need places to go. They need things to do. They need places to live. So really, it's all kind of a puzzle that you have to find all the pieces and make sure that everything works together to make sure that everything is growing well. We've got huge investment in grant opportunity in the Moran Square area, the new Moran Square apartments. The rail trail connection is coming from, right now the rail trail is in phase 1 from the state rail trail opportunity, and it'll be connecting to the downtown. So we have some grant there for the Moran Square redevelopment with climate action and MassWorks development. So we'll be seeing some action there. We've got that new coffee house in the Moran Square area, the Fitchburg, the public market that's coming on that has kind of like a micro business opportunity. So we're going to see a lot of kind of action on the ends of the Main Street area, in addition to the growth that's coming out further from in the mill buildings. So anything that the city of Fitchburg can do to encourage these developments with our investors and with our community, we want to hear that feedback and share that information.
How important is it for you to be creating a relationship and working across city lines with other communities, with other mayors or members of boards of selectmen in other towns around here?
I think it's extremely important, Scott. I mean, so I've been communicating with the mayor of Leominster and with Gardner with our Tri-City, collaboration there. Yep. And then we have, our surrounding towns as well. So, we have regional opportunities, and, with state granting opportunities, they really have a high scoring for regional collaboration. So, expanding those opportunities to collaborate with our neighbors in order to save funds, or staffing challenges for certain government services have been a challenge. So maybe regionally connecting there, we're looking into as well. It increases efficiency and helps us with those staffing challenges. So we'll see what more that we can do, but I am absolutely open to regional collaboration, and we've been already discussing some strategies.
The North Central Mass Chamber of Commerce was named Chamber of Commerce of the Year in 2023, and
number one best, right? Located right in the city of Fitchburg.
And how important is the chamber to both the city and the region? You're talking about collaboration, and I imagine through the chamber, some of that is being worked as well.
Well, we have the number one best chamber for a reason, right? Yeah. So the chamber does an incredible job of creating those relationships with our area businesses and organizations, municipal organizations, nonprofit organizations, business opportunity, and banking and those kinds of infrastructure. They also have the development corporation arm, the tourism arm, and they're starting a land bank, opportunity for that kind of other ways to invest in creating these kind of site-ready land investment opportunities for people that come in and they see this piece of property, but there's a lot of unknowns. Right, and it's hard to invest in unknowns, with the length of time that it takes, or investment challenges, costs, the unknown costs. So the Chamber of Commerce is kind of really working all the angles that we need to facilitate economic development growth here in our region, and and then not only that, with the but bringing in people with the tourism, which Fitchburg is one of the largest values of that kind of tourism. When we talk about the Game On recreational opportunities, right. And we have the Great Wolf Lodge, which brings people in from all across from hours away. Mm-hmm. When you go to Great Wolf Lodge parking parking lot, you see you can count the number of states, and you might be able to count them on all your fingers. So we've got people that are traveling here to Fitchburg already, and then with the investments that we have at Fitchburg Airport, you can see just continued growth from there. So having the Chamber of Commerce, as an integral partner is only going to help us facilitate growth, that fast trajectory like I was talking about.
With that sound effect, too.
Yeah.
You're following in the footsteps of some very notable trailblazers in politics in the city of Fitchburg, Mayor Lisa Wong, Mayor Mary Whitney, and Ellen DeGeronimo, who's a former city councilor and a former commissioner of the State Department of Public Works. And
Yes.
I just wondered, how does it feel to be a part of that group?
It feels fantastic.
I bet.
Yeah, I saw Mayor Whitney the day after the election, and she was so happy. She had tears in her eyes. She's like, "Oh, finally!" So yeah, being there with the first woman mayor, and then the third woman mayor 20 years later.
Yeah.
It feels. It's a humbling feeling, Scott. So I'm here in serving the city of Fitchburg in that role, but also being able to serve as a role model to our girls. That we are here. We have all the same opportunity, and we can be out here, and we need more representation when it comes to a variety of diversities, right? And I think that as a woman, that's just another another aspect that brings us all to the table.
And along those lines, of the 9 newly elected mayors of the Commonwealth,
yes,
how many of the 9 were women this time around?
Let's see. There's Erin Joyce in Braintree. She was she's now the first woman mayor. They recently changed from being a town. Let's see. They had myself. We had Erin. We had Haverhill. We had, let's see, of the 7 that was at a few recent newly elected meetings, right. 5 of them were women.
That's what I had thought. It
right.
was 5 out of the 9 newly elected. We're taking over. Okay. Okay, we're taking over. We're 51% of the population, but I think like 20% of the legislature. So we have work to do, but that's the forward trajectory. As you look ahead, not only to this year, but perhaps in years ahead, and I don't want to go, maybe 5 years would be enough. Where do you see Fitchburg headed?
In 5 years?
Yeah. What would you like to see Fitchburg accomplish in the next 5 years, that 5-year plan scenario?
I'd like to.
Where's the list?
So many things.
Where's the
right?
list?
So I'd like to see more of our existing buildings renovated into either commercial, industrial, manufacturing. These are, with maybe more biotech, more life sciences, more opportunity there with technology. I'd like to see those our existing building stock renovated and repurposed and brought up to building code, and allow people to rent those spaces or utilize those spaces. And that includes housing production, particularly in the downtown area. And we've got multiple site-ready locations in the downtown. So I'd like to see those housing projects and/or live-work, commercial, industrial opportunities as well. I'd like to see a lot of our existing stock renovated and fixed up. I'd like to see us have implemented a pavement management plan. I'd like to see our potholes filled on a regular basis. When we are driving, especially into our gateway into the city and at major intersections, make sure that we are addressing the small issues like the brush and the litter. I'd like to see more, in 5 years, more engagement and cleanup just of our, the tackling the small item areas. Make sure that I'd like to see all of our current restaurants and businesses that have invested in the city. 5 years later, we're cutting another ribbon. We're cutting the 5-year ribbon. ribbon, those, making sure that not only we are attracting and investing in new businesses, but making sure that we retain and support our existing businesses. Our schools are doing amazing. The new Crocker Elementary is ready. The B.F. Brown Arts Community, the B.F. Brown Fitchburg Arts Community, in collaboration with New View Communities and the Art Museum, that is online.
That's underway, yeah.
We have 68 new units of artist preference housing, and these artists are the ones that are doing things. We now have placemaking. This is 5 years in the future. We have placemaking. We have new business growth. We've got these artists here that are doing things and creating businesses out from the B.F. Brown area.
So, it's quite a list.
This is up at the top of my head.
But wait, there's more. Let's talk about your staff. You've got, you're a newly inaugurated mayor. You've got new people around you. Let's talk about some of those people that are on your staff.
Yeah, so, the mayor's office has 2 staff. We've got our chief of staff, our deputy chief of staff, Alexander Vera, and Miles Phillips Wilcox. The 3 of us together perform different roles, than previous administrations, right? So we work very well together, and we're a younger. We have they're eligible to be in the young professionals. Yeah, so I get that kind of feedback loop also. So we're working very well together, and what's amazing, Scott, is having people available to help lighten that load. As a city councilor, I had me.
Yeah.
So having Alex and Miles available to help facilitate these initiatives through the mayor's office and collaborate with our city departments and ensure that they have everything they need, and the community of Fitchburg has everything they need coming with the city departments has been incredibly valuable.
What are you looking forward to in 2024 in terms of celebrations within the city? I know there's Civic Days. Do you have anything else that you're really looking forward to as being a part of the city?
Well, we have Fitchburg Civic Days,
right,
and we have the block party, which is we do an amazing job, and then our Civic Days parade, which we have the best in the entire area. Let's be serious, okay? And then other than that, we have the city of. I would like the city of Fitchburg to ensure that we are doing everything we can to support our artist community, our entrepreneur community, the people that want to do things here in the city, with everything that they need to help create these festivals and events and placemaking opportunities for the people that want to do them, right? So we had the FACE Festival last year, the Fitchburg Arts and Culture Extravaganza, right? So I participated in that to my ability as a councilor. So now as a mayor, I want to encourage that. I've heard that we are doing multiple days of events, and these guys, they are motivated. We have our cultural council that wants to put on events. So really, it's taking what we want to do and how can we help. That's the current stage we are in 2024, and we'll see what we can do in the future.
How have you been sleeping, or have you been sleeping since you were elected? How's that going?
I sleep less. But yeah, I have been I've been waking up at like 4 in the morning. Like, oh no, okay, I gotta do this. All right, you know what? I should just get up. I don't want to get up. You know what? I'm getting up. Okay, and then I can get the start on the day actually. So I've been waking. I try to get up at 5, but it's been 4 lately. But sleeping well.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty busy during the day. So now when I finally get to go to sleep, it's out.
Well, congratulations. It's always a pleasure talking to you. We've known each other for quite a while, and I'm looking forward to the year ahead and continue to get together with you every so often and have another conversation.
Sounds great, Scott. The next conversation will have all the more information to share.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.